Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how I started doing commissions at such a young age. But before I start talking about that, I want to bring up the fact that I haven't posted in a while. I just haven't been feeling very motivated lately, but hopefully I will have some more videos coming out. I also won't have my animated icon in the corner of my screen that is usually here because I do not like how my old one looks and I haven't redrawn it yet. So hopefully in the next video I will have that back, but it'll be like a new redrawn version. But for now I won't have one in the corner of the screen. So yeah, just wanted to say that real quick. So for my first point is I am 15 years old at the moment. I started taking commissions when I was around 14 years old. I believe I had just turned 14 or I was like not like close to being 15, but I was like in the middle. So when I first started, I knew I needed a way to get money, and I know this is where a lot of people get caught up, like they want to start doing commissions but they're too young to make their own PayPal or Cash App or whatever they're trying to use. This isn't really going to work unless you have someone who you trust, who is an adult, who can help you make an account. For me personally, I decided to use PayPal. But many other people usually use like Cash App or Venmo or whatever that can also work for you, but I won't be speaking on that because I myself do not have a Venmo or Cash App account. So I'm just going to be speaking about how I made my PayPal account and how I use it to receive money, basically. So first I started off obviously making an account. You have to have an adult with you if you're underage because you can't like actually own the account if you aren't 18 years or older. I'm pretty sure it's the same for Venmo and Cash App. So you need to have a trusted adult with you, so like your parents, your guardians, you know, like maybe even an older sibling or like a cousin if you have one that you can trust, or maybe an older friend. Personally, I recommend just having it be a family member, just because you know, like, you can usually really trust your family members, usually. So just have it be an older person that you trust who can make this account for you. For me, it's hooked up to my email and all that, but my mom still technically owns the account because she made it. So I recommend, if you're doing PayPal, I recommend making your account a business account, especially if you have a username and you don't want people seeing your real name or like your guardian's real name on the account. Because with a business account, you can actually set your display name to be like your company name. For me, I just made it be my username, rubichix. So I recommend doing that if you don't want your like full personal name out there. You also don't have to put your real name on the account, I don't think, but for me, like, I was just like, I'm just gonna put my real name on the account because I plan on using this account for a long time, and yeah, I just wanted it to like be my real name because I don't know if you can actually get in trouble for it like not being your real name or like your guardian's real name or like whoever is setting up your account's real name. But I just don't want my real name out there at the moment, so I decided to make it a business account. If you don't make it a business account, you won't be able to set like a display name, like you won't be able to set your company name. But that's fine. If you don't want to like hide your name or anything, you're fine with it being out there, then that doesn't really matter. With a business account, you can also get the like business PayPal app that also shows you other things, but I don't think that's very important unless you're like a big artist who's going to be getting a lot of commissions. But anyways, that's how I made my PayPal. I'm not too sure about PayPal and how you can hold your money in your PayPal account, because you can have people send you money and it can stay in your PayPal account. and you can also send people that money that you have in your PayPal account. But I've heard a lot of artists say that they've had their, like, accounts hacked or something, or, like, PayPal's just, like, taken their money randomly, and they've had to email and all that kind of stuff. So I have my mom made it for me, so her name is on it, bank account, and I send all my money that I get directly to my bank account. I do not let it sit in PayPal because I am scared of having what has happened to other artists happen to me. I don't want to have to email PayPal or anything like that. There's another thing I completely forgot to mention. You do not have to take real money for commissions. There are many sites that offer, like, on-site currency. DeviantArt has DeviantArt points. Amino has Amino coins. I'm sure there are other places that have similar things. You could also do commissions for, like, other things, like an art trade where you're, like, both receiving art or, like, stuff like that, basically. But I'm going to specifically center this video around how I get US dollars for commissions at such a young age. So now I'm going to get into how you actually find people that will want to commission you. So there are a lot of options, but most of it has to do with social media. You could get people to commission you in real life by showing your art around stores and stuff like that, but I do not do that because I don't think many people are going to be interested in some 15-year-old's digital art in real life. So I only advertise on, like, social media. You don't need to have a big following to do this, but if you're going to be doing it on a place like Twitter or Instagram, it would be a lot better for you to have a bigger following. Obviously, artists that have a bigger following, obviously people like their art, they're going to get more commissions. So that's also why building, like, your social media is a really important thing with being a artist that has to get money, basically. So you could like sell your commissions on Instagram and stuff like that, and like Twitter, but that's not really going to work unless you have a big following. So personally, when I want to sell commissions, I use Amino. A lot of people have had bad experiences with Amino, so don't use it if you've had bad experiences or stuff like that. But that's how I get my commissions, because it shows everything in a feed. There aren't too many people on certain aminos, and, like, it's just an easier way to sell your stuff when you don't have such a large following. You could also do the same thing on DeviantArt. They have DeviantArt groups where you could put your commission information into the groups that are for commissions, stuff like that. I don't use DeviantArt because I stopped using it after they made it so that you can't transfer points into US dollars, just because that was my only use for DeviantArt, and now I have no use for it anymore. Besides, obviously, if I wanted to sell commissions, but I do not like using DeviantArt, and I never, like, have that much luck with selling stuff on there. It is possible. It is definitely possible to use DeviantArt, but I just haven't had that much luck with it. There are also sites like Tumblr. I'm not sure if Tumblr is that useful because I don't use it. I'm pretty sure you can sell adoptables and stuff on Toy House. I'm not sure about commissions. Also, I do not use Toy House. If you're, like, a furry artist, you can use For Affinity. Stuff like that. But I basically only use Amino. And that's where I get the majority of my commissions. I don't get a lot of commissions, obviously. If you're an artist with a bigger following, you're gonna get more commissions, basically. If you have a good following, you're gonna get more commissions. Because more than likely, people followed you because they think your art is good, and so they're gonna want a commission from you. And also you just have more reach, basically. So it is better to have a bigger following if you want to sell commissions. Now I'm going to start getting into pricing and, like, how you set up your stuff. For me personally, there are really great tips that artists have given, like if you are doing commissions, count up how much time it takes you to finish a certain type of piece, like a full body. Let's say full body takes you 8 hours. Now multiply that by how much money you want per hour. And there you go, there's your price. But most people can't charge that much because they do not have a big following. They do not have that high quality of artwork, I guess. You know, stuff like that where you just can't charge that much. I don't really have any like certain tips on charging. Just do what you think is right, experiment with it. If people aren't buying your stuff, maybe try lowering it. Don't lower it too far, obviously, or people are going to start taking advantage of you. But you just have to like test the waters, see what other people, like other artists, are selling their stuff for on the platform that you're on, and stuff like that, with similar followings and similar art skill. So just look at other people and try to like gauge how much people on that site that you're selling on are willing to spend for art. And then after that, I start thinking about like what I'm trying to do. So what I'm drawing on the screen is like a bust up drawing, fully shaded, line art, all of that. So that's how you would start like labeling things. Usually I go sketch, line art with flat coloring, colored line art, like just like the full drawing, basically. Like the full drawing, like what I am drawing right now. Like the end result is like a full bust, basically. You can do the same with full bodies, like sketch, full body line art, and flat color, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, that's just how I usually go about posting, I guess. So when I do get someone that reaches out to me and is like, hey, I want a commission, like they PM me or they comment on the post or whatever, the first thing I do, obviously, you should ask them for, like what they want. Because you need to, figure out how much the price is going to be and make sure they're okay with that. Like, be like, okay, what you're asking for is going to cost you blank amount of money, so they know. So they can't, like, backtrack on you and be like, well, I didn't know it costed that much. I thought it was going to be much cheaper. I thought this was something else. Like, you know. So make sure they know. And make sure, like, you have the text conversation of, you know, like, you clarifying with them. After that, I usually ask for a reference. I usually don't take commissions if people don't have, like, a drawn reference of their character. Some people take commissions where, like, they'll just do based off description. Like, someone will commission someone, be like, hey, my OC has black hair, purple eyes, and tan skin. So then the artist would draw that. Personally, I don't like doing that because you can't really tell exactly what the person wants. And it's just easier to draw a character if you have a reference image of them. So usually I only do commissions if they have a reference image. Then after that, I make sure, like, what do you want for posing? Like, what do you want for this, and that? Like, that kind of stuff. And then after that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to send you a sketch when I'm finished with it, and I'm going to have you approve the sketch. I do this so that I don't, like, finish the drawing and then someone will tell me, like, oh, hey, I wanted this. Or, hey, you didn't draw this correctly, you know, stuff like that. So I just make sure by sending them a sketch. I actually recommend you do this. Just so you don't mess up. Just so you don't have to go back and try and correct things. Just so you don't have a conflict, basically. Also, just don't be rude to your customers. Like, just don't. They're not going to want to come back if you're mean to them, and there's really no reason to be mean to someone for no reason. Like, just be nice. You don't necessarily have to be, like, professional, like, get out your suit and tie and start talking funny, but just be, like, you know, not, like, aggressive or anything. Just be nice. Anyways, some artists have different methods of charging. So some people will charge, like, for their art when the drawing is finished. Some people will send the sketch and they'll have the person send them 50% of the money. So let's say the person's paying $10. So the artist sends the sketch gets approved by the customer, and then the customer would send $5. And then when the drawing is finished, they would send the other $5. Personally, I used to do that because it kind of prevents scamming. It kind of prevents you from wasting your time. But the issue is with if you're doing commissions for such like a low amount of money, PayPal charges you a fee for people sending you their money. So you'll get like money taken out of that. So instead of getting $5, you'll get like $4.50 or something like that. So basically what I was trying to say there is that I do not split 50-50 anymore. Like 50% when I show the sketch and it's approved, and 50% when the drawing is finished. I just do it all after the drawing is finished because I don't charge a lot for my commissions. I don't make a lot of money from them. So when it's split 50-50, PayPal is going to take like a percent of my money, and it's just going to like, it's going to be more than it was if I had just kept the payment all in one, basically. But I think that's a very safe way to make sure that you're not wasting your time. So if that is what you want to do, you don't have to follow like what I do, basically. Anyways, now I'm going to start talking about how basically I give people their art after I've finished making it. Some other ways that artists do this is they have like prints. They sell prints of the art they make and they send it to the person's address. But I don't do that. For me, since I do digital art, I just save the image and I either send it to them on whatever we're messaging on, or if the place has low quality like images, like Amino has low quality images. If you send an image through Amino and someone downloads the image you sent, it's going to be lower quality than it originally was when you drew it. So personally, I like either emailing the image or having a stash link. Basically, a stash link is a feature on DeviantArt where there's a part of DeviantArt called your stash, and in your stash you can upload images and you have like a link to that image. And it's not published like publicly, so you can just send it to whoever and then they have it. And it's usually pretty high quality. Same with emailing, it's going to be high quality. If someone wants me to send them the image through Amino, I am fine doing that, but I do not like doing that because it lowers the quality, and I just feel bad if like they paid money on something and the quality is low, basically. There's probably other ways you could do this. You could send the images through Instagram. Some people don't even like want to receive their image. Like some artists just post the image and the person commissioning just, I don't know, saves the link to the image, I guess, and that's how they do it. For me, I just like sending the image. I like having it high quality. You don't have to do that, but that's what I do. There are many, many, many ways that things can go wrong. So if you don't think you're mentally able to handle conflict, I don't recommend taking commissions from people you don't know. Or if you are a very nervous, socially awkward type of person, then just be careful because things can be miscommunicated easily and stuff like that. You need to be able to ask questions, answer questions, and say things clearly, basically, so there are no misunderstandings or conflicts. Some of the time, you might also be scammed, so you accept a commission, the person sends you their OC, you draw their OC, and they don't pay you, basically. In that situation, all you can really do is get them banned from whatever site that they're on, so they can't do it to you again or to any other artist, and block them, basically. You can also blacklist people. A blacklist is basically where an artist lists all these people that they have that cannot buy from them anymore because they've done something. I have an amino blacklist basically where I just have some people on there, like either they didn't pay for something or they backed out a lot, like where people back out on buying something where they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pay you this and that, and they keep telling you they're gonna do that and then they back out and they're like, no, never mind. Most people do that on adoptables though. That's not really a thing with commissions, so you don't really need to worry about that. But you still can be like scammed where you're just like, oh, I made this art and this person didn't pay me type of thing. Anyways, that's all I can really think of to include in this video. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or feel free to message me through my Instagram. My Instagram is linked in my bio, along with the music used in the background of this video. I'd really appreciate it if you followed me on my Instagram. That is mainly the place where I post my art. I also post on Twitter now, but not as frequently as I do on Instagram. I also have an Artfol account that you can follow. All the places have the same username except for my Twitter. I'm pretty sure it has like an underscore in the front. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.